everybody. We are here at the MDM ThinkLab in Berlin together with other 40 master data managers and professionals. And I am today here with Jaroslaw Chrupek from British American Tobacco. He's been involved in master data and has been putting in modern master data in BAT for the last 11 years. And first of all, we're very happy to have you here, Jaroslaw.
Likewise. Thank you, Pierre.
Perfect. So I just wanted to ask you basically, Jaroslaw, how do we show the value of data management so that the whole organization feels like and moves towards initiative with commitment rather than feeling alienated?
It's a very good question, Pierre. Thank you for that. I think it's a question of how you define it, and what the value means to the business. We had a very interesting day today, and one of the conversations was about the value creation. And in a sense, as the guys have agreed, that the value on its own doesn't have any data on its own doesn't have any value. It only has the value when it is being presented with the context and within the business context. This is how you know that something is right or wrong. Fitness for purpose of the data makes it really something which is valued. So to be able to make sure that this conversation happens, the whole subject has to be approached from the business perspective more than from the data perspective. It is all about explaining to the people why the data that they are using in their processes makes or breaks the whole thing. It's a very small thing, sometimes it's very obvious one, but this is what makes the value. The value is seen by reusage of the data for the business purpose. And this kind of conversation never should alienate the parties if they equally believe in the strategy and the purpose that business wants to serve.
Absolutely. And now looking at your career at British American Tobacco for the last 11 years, can you share a little bit about how you managed and about your journey in creating a healthy data culture?
It has been 11 years, and I never kind of looked back and thought about it this way. So it has been a ride. I did it on purpose. I wanted to do something which converted my knowledge and my skills in finance, and I wanted to make life of my colleagues in finance easier. And by doing so, I ventured into the whole data space. And I must say that I'm not looking back to change it again. So how does it change? It gives you a different perspective. It also teaches you different things. So creating the culture for something which is not a natural thing for anyone in the business to operate with, maybe with the exceptions of very few people who are hardcore data freaks or IT gurus, yeah? You're talking an alien concept. So it's whole this thing about managing something which is like an air. You know that it's there, you breathe it, but you don't notice it, yeah? And only you notice it when you're starting to be short of it, when you're in the high mountains or in the mines or somewhere, or when the air is polluted, and you can see the impact of that on your body. And this is roughly how the whole story about creating the data culture is about. It's trying to find those different bits and pieces that give the people ability to understand how the data is potentially impacting their lives in business, their decisions, and how they are operating in the business environment. So it's all about showing a lot of empathy. It's having those kind of common conversations. It's about building the relationships, building alliances with different people on different subjects when the problem is there, and trying to explain to the guys why it is happening. So not necessarily blaming them for anything, because there is no point really in doing this, but trying to have a common conversation on what is going wrong, why it is going wrong, and what we together can do to make it all a much better place. This is, for me, what is the A formula, one of many, how you can create the data culture. And I am experiencing myself. That's what I'm doing for the last 11 years. And I'm starting to see this changing even in my company. It takes time, yeah, because it's something which is not natural. But it starts getting the traction, the right traction, and the conversations are changing from it's a data problem to let's talk about it, let's see where really the problem is and how we can fix it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And with this concept starting to take traction in companies, how did the role of the figure of the data manager or MDM professional evolve since you started?
Oh, that's a a subject for the novel probably, or something even longer than that. But if you think about 10 years ago, have there been people who were the data managers? I don't think so. People were doing this piece of job as part of their daily routines. It wasn't a recognized specific type of profession or job in the business. Now, if you could call someone a data manager, it would be someone in IT who was responsible for managing database or doing data migration. So it was very technical term. That term has completely evolved and changed towards the far more business related context and scope of work. So over that period of time, the amount of jobs which I'm seeing on different websites and in different searches is just multiplying very, very fast. And the subject of data in the digital age is becoming a must. So it's not about whether we like it or don't like it. It's more about whether we want to be good at it or not be good at it, and therefore suffer the consequences of not being fit for the modern way of working. So has this evolved? Yes, a lot. Has it changed? Yes, a lot. Will it change even more? Absolutely yes. We are already seeing that the data management piece, or master data management, is already being combined with the data analytics. I mean, those two things are two sides of the same story. One which gives you the raw data and make sure that this is right and fit for purpose, whereas the other one is allowing you to use that data, do some analytics, do the profiling, get some of the data correlations out of it, derive the insights which you can use then in the business to drive new opportunities or mitigate your risk or do something which is completely new, like a greenfield type of approach to the business models. So this is how that whole thing is operating and changing. So it's a great place to be. I'm enjoying it. It really is exciting time. It was exciting time 11 years ago. It's even more exciting now because now technology also is picking up and makes it even more relevant.
So yeah, it's indeed a change we're seeing. It's a very exciting time to be in MDM, but where do you see it going over the next 5 years, let's say?
You're talking from the technology perspective or from the organizational piece?
From the technology perspective, I would say.
I think where it can go is very much towards those kind of new developments which are happening, and whether this is the machine learning or whether it is the robotic process automation or artificial intelligence or blockchain or any other developments which yet have to come up or be discovered. This is the kind of thing that you can utilize today in a way of managing the master data and the whole data space. So it's all about making the right things in the business in such a way that it makes it easy and intuitive for the users to use it. So it doesn't feel clunky, it doesn't feel complicated. So those tools do support the whole business processes and business people with far more natural approach to how it is being done. I think this is the way forward. So think about it the same way as you use your phone and applications on your phone. So that's what you want to replicate in a business context in your companies, regardless of the tools you're using. I think this is the way going forward, and potentially over the long period of time, we might be talking that maybe 90% of the job will be done by machines or robots, but there will be still 10% which is purely based on the human brain and some of the decisions and definitions. This is always something that people will be doing. So would I see that people will disappear from the master data space? No, I don't think so. They will just be doing things which are far more interesting and exciting rather than doing the things which are repetitive and mechanical.
Yeah, I agree with you on this. I mean, obviously things will be automated, but the strategic thought behind it and the human element is still going to play a major part.
No, absolutely, Pio. Yeah, so the whole data piece is about converting something which is in natural environment, something we can touch, feel, see, or hear, and you have to translate it into a code that the machines and the computers can understand. So going from the natural piece to the digital piece is the convergence which needs to happen. Now we already have seen the tools and the pieces of the environment which are allowing that to happen, whether you use the cameras, whether you use the voice recognition, OCRs or video recognition. It is already possible to put some of those things into play. So will the master data be impacted by this? Absolutely. I wouldn't say that some of our sci-fi films that we are seeing, like Minority Report and others, that is just a way of using the master data and augmented reality or the artificial intelligence to reprocess the data which is all over the place for the purpose which it's supposed to serve. So that should be good. So looking forward to that and looking forward to being able to deploy it and use it in the business, because it will make it even more fun and we will feel like nearly like a game.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, finally, what topics today that we discussed today do you feel that resonated more with you?
I like all the things which I heard today, but I must say that the first presentation from Campina was very interesting, because it was touching on this kind of soft pieces about change management, about the empathy, about people and teams around you. How do you correlate with people, which is absolutely fundamental in making sure that the whole master data project or initiative is becoming something of tangible value to the company. Camelot guys have presented great insights into this kind of modern tools. And this was something which was, very well received by me, and something I'm looking forward to see how this develops and how it is, what will be the potential to use it. And we have a couple of other presentations which were talking about the governance and pieces. Because I have gone through that myself and I have seen it and got my fingers burnt with it, I do understand the challenges and the pieces that the guys were talking about.